This is Lady Libertad. You're listening to Los Pupusa, day 35, alacrán.
You don't get to rewind, pause.
I got my period yesterday and fainted. Quite literally fainted. I hadn't had that happen to me since middle school, before I even had a period, back when I was a late bloomer. At first, I joked it was quite possibly the alacrán my grandma killed in my shower the night before. It was a tiny one, much smaller than the one I'd seen chilling upside down a week into the posadas last month. I yelled for my grandma and reached for a candy, assuming my blood sugar was low and hoping it might make me feel better. I told her I was feeling unwell and she said she'd bring me some warm milk. She told me to lie down on my side or sit on a low chair. I was sweating and really felt awful. I thought to myself that it might be the malnourishment from not eating tortillas and trying to manage with the little food I could eat. My grandma made meals that were 80% bread-based, and I just couldn't handle that. On my second period since arriving in rural El Salvador, my body decided it had enough and collapsed. Just the day before, I had texted my aunt to ask if she could mail me some organic protein powder. Being picky about what I put into my body and seeing how much sugar gym dudes pump into their systems, I developed the habit of drinking protein whenever I felt my weight dipping. Little did I realize that my malnourishment might have started back in NYC. Months before leaving, I'd finally managed to set up food stamps, but a few days before my departure, I got a call to come in for an interview to reclaim benefits. Frustrated by the disorganization and bureaucracy involved in accessing my own taxpayer dollars, I told the man on the phone I wouldn't be coming. It was a waste of my time, and traveling to the interview cost money I didn't have. To his credit, he was patient and understanding about my clear frustration. I laid there sweating until my grandma brought a cup of her Ensure powder, boiled like she does every morning, and a plate covered with another plate. She said, "There are some plantains, eat them when you get up." I was so thankful she brought me something I could actually eat. It made me realize I might need to leave El Salvador, or at least come up with a game plan to avoid developing anemia out here. On top of everything, I was trying to honor all the rules my grandma imposed whenever I got my period. Rules about showering, eating, and what's off limits at certain times of day. I had joked earlier about losing weight, thinking I lost about 5 pounds since arriving. But now, after fainting, I realized it was probably closer to 10. My body was slowly eating away at itself, and my period was the last straw. I asked my godmother to pick me up today so I could at least get a break from my grandma's oversalted, low-protein cooking. While sipping the Ensure milk, I realized this was probably how my grandma got her protein all these years. She mostly cooked rice and veggie soups and ate tortillas and beans. I needed a break before I fainted again from the light starvation I'd been unknowingly experiencing over the past few weeks. As I ate the cereal my aunt had picked up in the city and drank some leche de pipa, I started to feel a little better. About an hour later, I managed a cup of the oversalted broth my grandma had prepared the day before. The day we thawed the masa, she set my milk in the freezer component so it wouldn't go bad, but had forgotten about it, so I hadn't eaten a proper breakfast in days. That may have exacerbated the situation, leading to my legs turning to gelatin and leaving me bedridden the day before. Even my cousin noticed. She invited me to eat with her family after church on Sunday, saying, "You're probably just eating rice and veggies and not enough protein." She plated me beans, scrambled eggs, a tortilla, and some soft cheese. My game plan now is to head to the supermarket, wherever someone's going into the city, and stock up on items to sustain me until the next trip. The transport between the city and the small canton we're in isn't easy. The bus, which costs money, runs from 5 a.m. until about noon in cycles. Miss the last bus and you're screwed unless you're willing to hop on the back of a truck with 10 other people. My grandma doesn't trust me to go by myself, so I'd have to wait for her. Honestly, after a few weeks and only a handful of bus rides, I still don't fully understand the schedule. You have to stand on the side of the street, yell, and wave it down to hop on. But after fainting, it's time to do this with or without my grandma. That was Lady Libertad. You're listening to Los Pupusa.